From the 1011 Now Alert Center, this is Morning Pulse.
Good morning. This is Craig Allison with your Morning Pulse for Tuesday, February 24th. Before we get into our main stories for this morning, we'll give you the question of the day. About 1/3 of people say they order this when they go out because they hardly ever eat it at home. What is it? The answer turned out to be salad. Myself and Megan Conway got that right this morning. Yep, there she was whooping in the background. But if you want to participate in our question of the day, we do it every morning. Be sure to head over to our 1011 Facebook page, put in your guess. We read off guesses and then the answer during 1011 this morning. But that being said, let's get into our top 6 stories from this morning, starting off with international news. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico told Americans who are in the country to shelter in place yesterday because of ongoing security operations there. Comes after Mexican authorities killed the leader of the country's most powerful drug cartel, sparking retaliatory attacks. Guadalajara was one of many areas erupting in violence as Mexico's most notorious drug cartel retaliated after Mexican special forces killed their leader, Nemesio Osagara Cervantes, also known as El Mencho. The cartel he led has, quote, the highest cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine trafficking capacity in Mexico, according to the U.S. State Department. Now, here's what it was like in Guadalajara, according to someone who just made it back to the U.S. Actually, that's going to be coming up later in this story, but Mexico said U.S. forces did not participate in the El Mencho operation, although the government has been known to share intel and resources with Mexico. This violence, though, is directly impacting a family in Omaha, turning a wedding celebration into a nightmare. Bailey Koch flew to Puerto Vallarta to watch her parents get married. She never imagined she'd still be there this morning with no flight home. Back at her hotel, she recalls the lobby looking nothing like a vacation, describing the scene as chaotic and panicked. At the airport, airlines canceled flights, leaving worried travelers with no way out. Bailey says her family and other tourists, just like them, wondering what's next.
It's not even a concern of safety. We all feel very safe. It's not a safety concern. It's more of like, how are we going to pay for this financially? How many times are we going to have to rebook flights?
Authorities have cleared most of the 250 cartel roadblocks across 20 states, but flights are still delayed. Bailey's family's new flight out isn't until Thursday. Some of her family, though, won't leave until this weekend. Your second story and our top story from yesterday's breaking news, an update we brought you from yesterday morning. Fire at Union Pacific rail line near Haymarket Park that brought an entire bridge down right there on the ground. The scene staying busy all day to ensure the fire was stayed out. The blaze ignited on the bridge running over Salt Creek just before 4 a.m. yesterday. Lincoln Fire and Rescue fighting those flames until 5:30 a.m. when it burned through the timber holding the bridge up, collapsing that section. Since then, crews from the city, county, and Union Pacific, who own the bridge, have been monitoring some of the still smoldering hot spots, even clearing trees to make way for other machinery needed for the rest of the cleanup process. While watching some of the process unfold, we ran into Willie, a kid who told us he rides his bike on this trail almost every day.
I've walked across it probably a couple times the last few years, and you know, it's always been a little bit rickety, but I was never scared of it. I woke up and my mom told me, hey, a railroad bridge burnt down downtown. I'm like, oh, which one? It's like the Union Pacific one. I'm like, oh, thank the heavens it wasn't the other one that's a lot more traveled.
The bridge is considered a total loss, and we still don't yet have a cause for the fire this morning, but to combat some of the hot spots that were still smoking, crews spent a large portion of the morning and afternoon spraying foam on them. We received a statement from the county health department regarding this process, reading in part, quote, the foam being used is a non-toxic foam. We currently coordinating with the Nebraska Department of Water, Energy, and Environment, parties involved, and their contractor to ensure cleanup activities are conducted safely and in accordance with environmental regulations. Be sure to stick with us at 1011 Now as we work to learn more about this very visual and very serious fire that occurred yesterday morning. Over to our crime tracker this morning in your third story. A Lincoln man will spend nearly 2 decades behind bars after exposing himself to a 9-year-old child in a portable toilet at Holmes Lake back in 2024. 56-year-old John Corbin has been sentenced up to 23 years for having child pornography and child enticement. One other charge was dropped, but he will have to register as a sex offender. In June of 2024, police went to the lake after Corbin exposed himself in a porta potty. He was arrested 2 months later and was held on a $1 million bond. Your fourth story, and in continuing coverage, the trial has started for a Nebraska notary charged with improperly signing off on medical cannabis petitions in 2024. 54-year-old J.C. Todd of York faces 24 counts of official misconduct in Hall County. Reporter from our sister station at KSNB was inside the courtroom all day hearing opening statements and witness testimony. Todd's defense attorney says he never forged any signatures and did not know what he was doing was wrong. We will bring you the verdict once it's reached on air and online. Your fifth story, Nebraska's former First Lady is hoping to join the University of Nebraska Board of Regents. According to the Nebraska Examiner, Suzanne Shore is running for an Omaha seat on the board, saying she wants to help NU heal from months of infighting and help stakeholders set a vision for the future. Shore is the wife of former Nebraska Governor and current Senator Pete Ricketts, but unlike her husband, she will be running as a Democrat. She joins a field of at least 5 other Democrats hoping to serve the final 4 years of the person right there on your screen, former Regent Elizabeth O'Connor's term in eastern Douglas County. O'Connor officially resigned last month following a DUI crash. And wrapping things up with your sixth and final story in sports. After 7 weeks in the top 10, Nebraska has fallen down to number 12 spot in the AP poll. This for the Husker men's basketball team. And the drop comes after a loss on the road to Iowa last week, the first loss against a non-ranked opponent this season. Huskers fell 3 spots in total. Huskers did bounce back, though, with a double-digit win against Penn State at home last weekend. On Sunday, the NCAA Selection Committee revealed its top 16 teams ahead of the March Madness tournament, putting Nebraska at the 11th spot. The Huskers have 4 remaining games this regular season, and their next action is tomorrow at PBA against Maryland. That's going to do it for your morning pulse on this Tuesday morning, and we'll give you a look at our 7-day forecast before tossing things over to Brandon Rector. Still cold, but significantly warm compared to yesterday.
Good Tuesday morning. Meteorologist Brandon Rector with you in the 1011 Severe Weather Center. It is going to be mostly cloudy for today. We had a warm front move through the area this morning, so west-southwest winds at about 5 to 15 miles per hour will become northwest this afternoon behind a cold front at 10 to 20 with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. So therefore, it's going to be a bit breezy, and there might be a few sprinkles around this afternoon as well. It will remain mostly cloudy as we go into tonight. Temperatures at noon today in the upper 40s to mid 60s, at 4 low 50s to upper 60s. It will be mild and above average for our temperatures this afternoon. At 8 this evening, we're cooling back into the mid 30s to low 50s. In Lincoln for today, warming up to 57 for a high this afternoon, 13 degrees above average for this time of the year.
From the 1011 Now Alert Center, this is Morning Pulse.